Was good, ballers? It's Jim's balling back again with the power rankings going into week 15. Crazy we're that far into the season, but that's where we're at. Power rankings, ranking all 32 teams, you know how it goes. Last place, 32nd, we gotta go with the Giants. They had their last chance here to probably get a win on the season. They lost to the Saints. Saints are also but the Giants are the most butt team in the league. Like I said, they'll probably lose the rest of their games. This was probably their best shot to win another game, and of course they come up short. Drew Lock, don't really have a lot of faith in him. They even had a chance to tie it going into overtime, but got the field goal blocked. Most Giants thing ever, and yeah, just another loss for the Giants. They have nothing going for them except probably Tracy and Neighbors on offense. So at least whatever quarterback they get next year can maybe have a couple pieces. But yeah, the future's looking a little tough for the Giants. Maybe a rebuild can help them out, but ugh. Number 31, we got the Raiders, and they lost to the Bucks. No shot they were going to win that game. They're also 2-11, tied for the worst record in the league. Got another injured quarterback, but no matter what quarterback the Raiders trot out, they're all really bad. The Raiders are ass. Number 30, we got the Titans, and they lost to the Jaguars. They're now 3-10. This was a game that they probably should have won, completely winnable game, but instead they lost. But I mean, you get a better draft pick, and that's kind of what's most important when your season's already done. At number 29, we got the Jaguars, and congrats, you beat the Titans, and now you don't have like the first overall pick anymore. Like, I mean, this is maybe a feel-good win, but I mean, it kind of tanks your draft stock, so kind of but. Number 28, we got the Saints, and they were able to beat the Giants, but the Giants are the worst team in the league, so not really an impressive win. Maybe a little low on the Saints right now, but they got an injured Derek Carr, and I don't know. Considering they barely beat the Giants are the worst team, and with Derek Carr being injured, the Saints are going to be pretty but. Number 27, we got the Bears, and this may also seem kind of low, but they just got absolutely demolished by the 49ers. One of the worst first halves in football history, only 4 yards while giving up over 300. Absolutely terrible, absolutely disgusting. Thought firing Matt Eberflus would be able to help this team, but nope. Now the offense and the defense are both trash, so congratulations. But yeah, they're 4-9 and the season's pretty much over. And I don't know, maybe Caleb Williams can maybe be good next season, but man, they're absolutely trash right now. Number 26, we got the Patriots, and they're coming off a bye week, and they were able to chill. They're still 3-10, still pretty ass. Maybe they can get a good draft pick, but I mean, Drake May seems all right, so not too much to say. Number 25, we got the Jets, and they lost to the Dolphins. Another loss for the Jets. Looked like they were going to win, but then gave up a field goal, went to overtime, and they didn't get the ball in overtime at all, and they just lost. And just the most Jets thing ever. They're now 3-10, and I think they're cursed forever. Number 24, we got the Browns, and they lost to the Steelers. They're now 3-10. Jameis Winston throwing a bunch of picks. Yep, that's how it goes. The Browns, pretty ass, but I mean, you can keep Jameis Winston at quarterback, be your tank commander for next season. I think that's a smart move. Number 23, we got the Panthers, and they lost to the Eagles, but it was pretty competitive, and the Panthers have kept these games, the last 3 games, pretty competitive. Bryce Young's been looking better, but I mean, still losing games, but I mean, hey, at least you can get a good draft pick, that ass record, and that's probably good to get some better pieces around Bryce Young. Looks like he could still maybe be the quarterback there, so I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. Number 22, we got the Cowboys, and they lost to the Bengals in a game that was kind of close, game that the Cowboys maybe could have won, should have won, but I don't know, kind of weird game, but who cares? The Cowboys are kind of ass and their season's done. They're at 5-8, and I don't know what they do going forward. Number 21, we got the Falcons, and this may seem pretty low, but I mean, Falcons are a bit of a losing streak. They kind of got demolished by the Vikings in that last quarter there. They're now at 6-7. They had the NFC South in their hands, and they completely fumbled the bag. So Falcons have not been looking good. Kirk Cousins been looking complete ass, throwing a bunch of picks, and just how bad the Falcons been looking, they deserve to be this low. Number 20, we got the Bengals, and they beat the Cowboys in kind of a pointless game between two teams that kind of underperformed this season, but I mean, at least Joe Burrow had a good game and they actually won, so I mean, I guess that's good, but season's ultimately over for the Bengals. Number 19, we got the Cardinals, and man, what a fall from grace. They went from leading the NFC West to now being the worst team in the NFC West. But I mean, at the beginning of the season, that's kind of where you expected them to be. But Kyler Murray, second half of the season struggles. That's what he does. That's what he does. So they lost to the Seahawks. Seahawks kind of controlled the entire game, and Cardinals are now at 6-7, and I don't know. I think the season's done for them. But I mean, considering how much of a failure the season should have been for the Cardinals to look this decent, it's, I mean, kind of a win for kind of a rebuilding year. Number 18, we got the Colts coming off a bye week. They're at 6-7. Maybe they can make the playoffs. I don't believe it though. Keep getting some experience for Anthony Richardson, and maybe he can get even better. Number 17, we got the 49ers, and they just absolutely demolished the Bears. Are the 49ers back? I mean, maybe. If they can play like this every single week, the 49ers could be dangerous, but considering how inconsistent they've been, how injured they've been, I still don't have any faith in the 49ers, but it's a good win, and maybe can run it back next year. Number 16, we got the Dolphins, and they beat the Jets in, I guess, a good win to keep their playoff hopes alive, but I don't believe they can make the playoffs, and even if they do, they'd probably lose the playoff game anyway. So again, these wins are kind of pointless for the Dolphins other than to, I don't know, make themselves feel good and feel like they're not as bad as they really are. Number 15, we got the Texans, and maybe this is kind of low for a team that's 8-5, but when they do get wins, they're against bad teams that they barely win, and then they lose to all the good teams. So Texans have not been impressive. Coming off a bye week, maybe they can look better. Number 14, we got the Rams, and I kind of want to put them higher, considering that win against the Bills. That was crazy. Their offense was clicking. This was a big win for the Rams, but they've been super inconsistent. They're 7-6, and they kind of need to prove it to me. They kind of need to have back-to-back really good weeks and continue to look extremely impressive for me to put them higher on the rankings. So, but this Rams team, when they're clicking, they can be really dangerous and can beat anyone. So just got to see if they can keep clicking is the thing. But good win, and maybe they can win the NFC West. Number 13, we got the Bucs, and they beat the Raiders, and Raiders are pretty ass, so I mean, that's a game they should have won. They're now at 7-6, and now they're leading the NFC South. Good for the Bucs, but they still haven't been looking that impressive, that good, but they could be pretty scary when things are clicking, so we'll see if the Bucs can keep looking better. Number 12, we got the Seahawks, and they really impressed me. Another good win against the Cardinals. They kind of controlled this entire game. They're now 8-5, and big game from Zach Charbonnet, and if the run game is working for the Seahawks and their defense is getting stops, they can be a really scary team, because when Geno Smith's just out there just slinging the rock a bunch, he's going to make some bad mistakes, but don't have to have him play hero ball, then the Seahawks can be a pretty good team. So this was a good win, and I kind of thought they were a little bit dead in the water once they lost a bunch of games after that 3-0 start, but they rebounded and they're looking pretty good, and looking good at the right time. Number 11, we got the Commanders. They're coming off a bye week. Maybe Jane Daniels can be healed up a bit and look really good again, but they're still 8-5, pretty dangerous team. If they're clicking, it can be really good, but yeah, we'll see what the Commanders can do. Number 10, we got the Broncos. They're also coming off a bye week. Hopefully can get more healthy. 8-5, defense looking pretty good. Offense doing just enough. Broncos, pretty solid team, surprisingly. Number 9, we got the Chargers, and this is maybe a little too high for them, but I still have faith in this Chargers team. When they're looking really good, they're looking really good. They kept it close with the Chiefs, but I mean, the Chiefs, they always keep it close, but it's another loss, but the Chargers are still pretty good team. I still have a good amount of faith in them. Number 8, we got the Ravens. Another bye week, another 8-5 team. You know all about the Ravens. They have the potential to win the Super Bowl, but they kind of had some inconsistencies this season, so we'll see how good they're looking after the bye week. Number 7, we got the Steelers, and they beat the Browns. I mean, it's a game you should win. The Browns are pretty but they're 10-3. Pretty impressive record, but Steelers have just not really impressed me a bunch with some of their wins, and they've had bad losses like to the Browns earlier in the season. There's no doubt that the Steelers are a really good football team, but I still don't think they're Super Bowl contenders. Number 6, we got the Packers, and they still impressed me even off of a loss. They lost to the Lions, but the Lions are a very good team. Packers are still 9-4, can be a really dangerous team in the playoffs. Just kind of have to see if they can win 3 straight road games in the playoffs. That's tough to do, but the Packers are a pretty dangerous team, pretty hard team to beat, so I still have a lot of faith in them. Number 5, we got the Vikings, and they beat the Falcons kind of convincingly. I mean, it was kind of close for most of the game, but when things were clicking, the Vikings kind of shit all over the Falcons, and they're at 11-2, crazy good record. I don't think anyone expected them to be this good, but they are that good. They got a really good defense. Sam Darnold's been really impressive, throwing the ball extremely well. The Vikings can be a pretty dangerous team. Number 4, we got the Bills. Bit of a fall from grace. They were at number 1 last week, and now they're down to number 4 because they lost to the Rams. And shout out to the Rams. They played really good. That offense was looking really good, but the Bills, they lost. And it's not like it's a bad loss. They're on the road, cross conference. And when the Rams are clicking, they could be a really dangerous team. So I still think the Bills can probably make it to the Super Bowl, but we'll have to see. They kind of need to win out if they have any chance to pass up the Chiefs in the standings. And speaking of the Chiefs, at number 3, we got the Chiefs, and they beat the Chargers, and they're 12-1. They don't really feel like a 12-1 team considering how they're barely winning these games, but the thing is, I can't deny them. I still got to put them pretty high in the power rankings because they keep winning. A lot of these teams, they're still getting losses. They don't have as good of a record as the Chiefs, so I got to give the credit to the Chiefs. They keep winning. So they beat the Chargers on a game-winning field goal. Just more Chiefs bullshit. You know how it goes, but I can't deny it. They're really good. They're 12-1, so they're up at number 3. And number 2, we got the Eagles. Bit crazy to have them this high, but they're on the second longest winning streak in the league right now, so got to have them up at number 2. They've been looking impressive. Bit of a close game with the Panthers, but they still won it. We'll see if they can look even more impressive next week, hopefully, because they're going to need it. But they're 11-2, and the Eagles can be pretty scary. But that means at number 1, back at number 1, we got the Lions. And I'm sorry I ever doubted you guys, because I had the Lions at number 2 last week. But after that win against the Packers, they're back up to number 1. They're tied for the best record in the league. They got a good win against the Packers. Packers are a pretty scary team, one of the best in the league, but the Lions keep winning, 11 straight wins. It's insane. The Lions been looking really good, so they have earned their number 1 spot again. They've earned it back. So Lions, shout out to the Lions. They deserve it. But yep, this has been the Power Rankings. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. This has been Jim's Ballin'. Got more videos on the way, and I'll see you next time. Peace.